Welcome to PS Academy. I'm your host Istvan, digital marketer and marketing automation specialist, and today I'll be speaking about Facebook campaign objectives. This is part 2 of a 2-part video series in which I speak about Facebook campaign objectives. Today we'll be cutting straight to the chase and talking about the last 2 categories of campaign objectives, which are consideration and conversion. So if you haven't seen part 1, make sure you check out that part first, because in that one I explain why it's really important to carefully choose these campaign objectives. Six campaign objectives in the consideration category. The first one is traffic, followed by engagement, app installs, video views, lead generation, and messages. So let me tell you a little bit about traffic. It's a pretty straightforward campaign objective. It has to do with website traffic. So the actual number of users that go from your Facebook ad onto your website. Now there's a small intricacy in the traffic objective that you can have 2 different types of results. Link clicks mean that a user sees your ad, they click on the ad, and they go to your website. Landing page use is a little bit more in-depth and uses the actual Facebook pixel to see if the person that has clicked on your link actually loads your website. Because of course there's a percentage of users that either click by mistake, or they click and the website doesn't load for them, or they run into a technical error and they never see your actual landing page. It's kind of an assurance that people actually arrive on your website and see your landing page. There's a lot of use cases for traffic campaigns. Of course, if you're running traffic onto different LPs or web pages, you can get users to read your blog posts or see different content you put up on your website. The second objective in the consideration category is engagement. Now, the 3 basic things that you can use engagement for is page likes or page followers, the engagement of a post, and event engagement. So page likes, pretty straightforward. You're running an ad that gets people to like your Facebook business page, or of course follow your Facebook business page, which nowadays is a little bit more important than just liking the page. Actually, Facebook will be eliminating the like function on pages and replacing it with the follow function. So let's refer to it from now on as follow your page. So if you don't have a lot of followers on your page, you want to get people to get interested in your content, you can run these kinds of ads. They're pretty simple. In my honest opinion, I don't necessarily recommend these kind of campaigns. I'd rather have people engaging with your content directly on your page, so engaging with a post, an event, or video. But of course, it's still an option. Now, the second type of engagement campaign is the post engagement, and this is when you post something on your Facebook business page, and of course, you run this campaign on it in order to get more people to engage with it. So what is an actual engagement? An engagement for a Facebook post is people clicking on the image to enlarge it. It's people clicking the like button. It's getting comments and shares on the post. It's basically any minor interaction that the user can have with this post. This is really awesome if you have an interesting piece of content that you want to generate a little bit of dialogue about, or if you're running various promos and you want people to share them or discuss about them and so on and so forth. This also helps a lot with actually growing the follower base for your pages, because people that engage with your content eventually get interested in your page and also follow it. And the third type of engagement campaign is the event response or event engagement campaign. This is when you create a Facebook event for a various event, such as an offline physical event, or maybe even an online event such as a live stream, and you get people to respond to this event with either marking that they're interested in the event, or even saying that they're going to this event. This is really awesome if you're running these events on Facebook, if you're doing live streams, or if you're marketing physical offline events on Facebook, you want to run these kinds of campaigns. Now, the third type of consideration campaign is app installs. App installs is a little bit tricky. I'd almost say that it's actually more of a conversion objective, but not quite. And why is that? Well, app install is installing an app is still just a consideration phase. It's not a final action, because of course final actions usually happen in the apps. You either purchase products via an app or you have microtransactions in an app, and those would be considered the actual conversion side of app ads, and the actual installation is still just a consideration phase. In order to run these kinds of ads, you actually have to have a registered app on Facebook for developers. It's a little bit of a more complicated process, but the idea is that once you run through all this technical setup with your mobile app, is that you can run ads that incentivize people to install the app on their mobile devices. Going forward, we have video views, and this is quite a fun one, since what you're doing with this objective is getting people to watch your videos. And you can even select a percentage of how much you want people to see your video. So you can say, okay, I want people to see half of my video at least. I want people to see my video in its full, so it's a through play, that's what Facebook calls it. And you can choose what kind of result you're looking for, but also it depends very much on how long your video is. So uploading a 5-minute video, running an ad on it, and selecting that you want through plays, so people to see 100% of the video, is quite a high expectation. So in the case of longer videos, I'd be aiming for 75%, 50%, maybe even just 25% if it's a really long video. And what's really awesome with the video views campaign is that you can actually use audiences that have seen your video in custom audiences and lookalike audiences. So it's a way, similar to traffic, it's a way of generating data for your Facebook pixel. Now, the next campaign type is lead generation. You create a Facebook lead form, which is an actual form that people can fill out on Facebook, and you run ads, and when people click on your ad, so they click the button on your ad or they access the link on your ad, they open this lead form, and they can fill out various information. You can ask standard questions such as, like their name, their contact details, the city they are from, and so on and so forth. And you can even ask custom questions depending on what you're interested in. And this is pretty straightforward, because once people complete this form, they go into the Facebook Leads Center, where you get all their answers, you get their data. They basically become leads for your business, maybe for your service, or maybe for a higher ticket product. Now, the last type of consideration campaign objective is messages. And let me tell you, messages is a little bit of a tricky one, because in the EU, you're pretty restricted on what kind of message campaigns you can run. There's some regulation that has come out recently that has restricted the type of engagements you can incentivize with messages. However, in the US or other countries, you can have a blast. You can get people to message your page basically, and respond to various questions that you pose in your ad, and so on and so forth. So basically you're incentivizing people to engage with your page via a message, via Messenger. And the final category of Facebook campaign objectives is the conversion category. And I'm gonna go through these campaign objective types. However, disclaimer, all of these objective types involve data sources. So a data source can be the Facebook pixel or a product catalog or stuff like this, or even offline data sources. So in order to use these campaign objective types, you'll need to configure your Facebook pixel correctly. You need to have the proper tracking in place. And in short, it's not as plug and play as with the previous campaign objective types, but at the same time, these campaign objective types bring you actual final results. So these are the ones that are going to bring you the sales. They're going to generate you the high value leads. They're going to basically bring that end result that you're trying to achieve with these Facebook campaigns. So pay close attention, because these are really important. And once you actually get to use these kind of objectives, you're going to be getting a high return on your Facebook ad investment. So the first objective type is conversions, and it's difficult to explain conversions because conversions can be pretty much anything you want it to be. Basically, using your Facebook pixel data, you're going to tell Facebook what kind of conversion action you want it to complete. There's a bunch of standard ones, and these are ones, some like subscribe to your newsletter, add products to the cart, initiate checkout on your website, purchase products, so have an actual final purchase, become a lead on your website. But there's also much smaller ones, minor ones, such as perform a search on your website. So actually search some of your products, or view specific pieces of content on your website. So maybe you're aiming to get people to watch, to read specific blogs, or maybe even watch a video on your website, or browse certain pages. And there's many more other than these that I mentioned. But aside from these, you can also have custom conversion events. So basically you define what the conversion is. Maybe it's the completion of a specific type of form on the website, or it's going from a specific page to another one, or all sorts of things. These are pretty much 100% custom. Of course, you need to have a certain amount of technical knowledge in creating tracking tools in order to configure these custom conversions. But these, again, can be really, really useful when you're running these kind of campaigns. The second one is catalog sales, and this is pretty similar to the conversion one, except that this specifically is for e-commerce stores. It has to do with the catalog data source. So basically, if you have a website with a catalog of products, you can import that catalog of products into Facebook, and you can run catalog sales campaigns. Now, I'm sure you saw tens or maybe even hundreds, if you're on Facebook for a long time, of these catalog sales objectives, because they're the ones that create these pretty long carousels of products on your newsfeed. So I don't know, if you went to Amazon and then browsed Facebook again, then I'm sure you saw Amazon retargeting you with exactly the same products that you browsed on their website. And basically it's a never-ending loop of products in a carousel. And the last kind of conversion objective is store traffic. And disclaimer, this isn't online store traffic, because you'd be using the actual traffic objective to get people on your web shop or website. This is physical store traffic. So if you have a brick and mortar retail store, this is the kind of objective that you'll be using. It specifically targets people with a certain range around your physical store, or maybe even physical stores, because you could have more, of course. And the objective is to get them to visit the store. So yeah, that's all of the conversion objectives. I went through the list pretty quickly. There's only 3 types, but you should know that these 3 campaign types, especially the actual conversions objective, it's really, really versatile. So you can get a lot done with this conversion campaign type. And let me tell you, I'd say 75% of the campaigns that I run involve conversions. Guys, I hope you have a much better understanding about Facebook campaign objective types, which ones to use, why you're supposed to carefully choose them, and of course how you get the result that you want from Facebook ads. If you thought this 2-part video series was really educational and it gave you an edge over the competition, make sure you share this video, subscribe to our page, ring that notification bell, and of course leave us a comment showing your appreciation. I'll see you next time on PS Academy with more digital marketing content, more Facebook advertising content, and even more tips and tricks.